my God!
For a lot of folks across the country, this is what bass fishing looks like.
It's like a 9-pounder.
Look at that tank.
This kind of excitement might be the reason these fish were introduced to the Pacific Northwest. Smallmouth and largemouth bass are prized game fish in the eastern half of the U.S. and in stocked lakes across the West. But in Northwest rivers, they can be a big problem. They're not native species, and they eat the baby salmon that are struggling to survive here.
Life vest. Do you have your life vest?
Yeah.
So Oregonians Jared Nagreen and Aaron Griffin are gearing up for a different kind of bass fishing.
Just added 10 pounds.
Trail mix. Are we allowed to eat this on the river?
Good point. We'll call it river mix.
These are our little fish bags.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen those yet.
They drove 5 hours from where they live in Hood River to the Coquille River in southern Oregon to test out an experimental new fishery that adds a bit of adventure to removing invasive species.
Starter one. Sorry.
They're going spearfishing,
Aaron, you want to stand over there?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
and it's definitely an experiment.
Got these spears on Amazon. I've done a lot of rod and reel fishing for bass. Aaron has done a lot of snorkeling, but this is going to be our first excursion of this type.
I've only done like practice shots out of the water, so I haven't even shot this in the water yet. So we'll see how it goes.
We brought food in case we don't catch any fish.
But the trip has potential for a win-win-win.
We're sailing.
Outdoor fun that helps protect salmon while putting food on the dinner table.
Okay, here we go. And we're off. We'll float for a few miles of the river and see what happens and see if we can harvest some fish and maybe make some fish tacos for dinner.
On the Coquille River, there's an urgent need to remove as many of these predators as possible. Because they're eating so many salmon, the fall Chinook population here crashed in 2018, dropping from about 10,000 adults to less than 1,000. Jared learned about the new fishery from the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife. The agency is looking for new ways to inspire fishermen to catch more invasive bass.
Here, fishy, fishy, fishy.
But summertime river flows are low. So their August adventure starts out slowly.
Through the rapids. Just, shallow river struggles.
No fish. No fish.
This is all part of the story, Aaron.
Let's do it. It's definitely getting deeper.
Deeper.
Their first catch
I think it might have been more to your left a little.
is a piece of trash.
Success? A
Thank you,
spear
sir.
for you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. All right, here we go.
The next one, a rock that bent the spear.
See anything?
They are definitely down there. Now I just need to aim. I nicked it, but he was too fast.
Finally, things start to pick up.
Whew. I got one. There's a lot down there. A lot bigger ones too.
Being new to snorkeling, it was difficult for me to hold my breath long enough to just be calm and relax and wait for the fish to come. But that feeling of hitting the fish, such an exhilarating feeling. One more out of the water and one more delicious taco later.
In the deeper pools, they see bass everywhere, along with a clearer vision of fish tacos for dinner.
I was amazed at how many we saw. Hundreds and hundreds.
You're just like, oh, there's a spot. Oh, there's a spot. Oh, there. And there's like, I don't even know how many in each spot.
Welcome to Oregon's newest bass fishery.
There's one right below me.
It looks not at all like the bass fishing back east. But spearfishing alone won't solve the problem of invasive bass eating salmon. So Gary Vonderohe and Morgan Davis with the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife spend summer days scooping thousands of bass out of the river.
In the last 4 years, we've probably removed over 40,000 smallmouth bass from the river.
A smaller fish probably is going to eat maybe 1 or 2 a day.
I got it.
Where a larger fish could probably eat 10 a day.
Yeah, great bass.
They're using a method called electrofishing.
Oh, forward, Gary.
They send an electrical current into the water that stuns the fish, so they're easy to catch.
265. 6, 200 to 250. 13, 100 to 150. 4 young of the year. All right, buddy, we're gonna measure you now. We're hoping that it's making a difference. We've been shocking here for 5 years now, so it's a battle.
It's not as much fun as spearfishing, but it's much more efficient, especially when you deploy 2 boats at once.
Yeah, I'm gonna go down a little bit further to the end of those willows maybe and turn around and we can work our way up. Forward.
The Coquille tribe has its own electrofishing operation for twice as much impact.
Got him? Nice.
This is our catch of the day so far, 144 smallmouth bass between both of these bags, and we have a almost overflowing chest freezer back at the office right now.
Some of the bass they catch still have baby salmon in their mouths.
You can see the little caudal fin flopping around, but that Chinook was not much smaller than that bass. They eat anything and everything they can, and unfortunately for us, it's the Chinook.
The bass are also eating other native fish.
Oh, looks like we have a lamprey. The lamprey are native and they're really important to our tribe. It just goes to show that they're a voracious predator. Thanks, sir.
They have no natural predators, and in the case of the coquille, they just proliferate extremely well. Ideally, I'd like to come out here and really struggle to find a single bass one day. That would be the dream.
But even if they keep at it, they'll never eliminate the bass population.
There's over 100 miles of river that have smallmouth bass in it. We're just trying to give a little bit of edge back to salmon when they migrate through.
This is just one way they're working to help salmon recover.
Well, onward.
Absolutely.
Recreational spearfishing is another way. In 2025, the state opened more Oregon rivers to spearfishing for smallmouth bass. So next time, Jared and Aaron could try a river a little closer to home.
Hip flexor burn.
They spent a long day catching about a dozen smallmouth bass. It was a ton of hard work,
I thought you guys were gonna be paddleboarding. Yeah, me too.
but it was definitely an adventure.
That's an albino deer. I've never seen that. High five. So we should grab our fish. Oh, these look delicious. We actually got more than I thought we did. And these two are the big boys that are just monsters. Probably 5 ounces. It's a really creative way to manage invasive fish.
And also just have a blast.
This is 10 fewer fish who are going to be eating salmon as they get bigger. I think we did get more trash. Even if we filled up just a bag of trash, that is also still helping. That was a nice one right there.
Taco Bell? I don't even know what that is.
Coors Light, all the stuff that doesn't belong in the river. It's a small dent, but if a lot of people do this kind of stuff, it makes an impact. It'll make a difference. If we can do it, anybody can do it.
They went out again the next day, and they caught enough fish for tacos.
See any fish down there?
I got one.